Today in Career Pro Tips, we're talking about going with your gut and how you can use that to make the right instinctive decisions to own your career. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to get your weekly Career Pro Tips. Welcome to Career Pro Tips by Life in the Green Room. Life in the Green Room is all about helping busy professionals who want more from their career. We provide action-oriented, tool-based plans and programs to help you take action and start driving your career where you want to go. Career Pro Tips is a weekly video series where we dive into one specific topic or question and give you strategies, tactics, and tips that you can apply right away if that's a topic that's really relevant to you. My name is Heather Green McLinn, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing at a Fortune 500 company. I have used these tips and strategies, and I have seen my peers, my colleagues, and my team use them. I know that they will help you start taking ownership of your career. Welcome to episode number 39 of Career Pro Tips. Today we're going to talk all about going with your gut and how you can leverage that to use your instincts to really take ownership of your career. Now, before we dive into what I mean by going with your gut, I kind of want to talk about a few things that it doesn't mean, just to make sure we level set the stages here, because I think sometimes people can hear that and just kind of run with it and maybe misinterpret it, and it could turn into some bad ways of thinking about things. So the first thing that I do not mean when I talk about going with your gut is doing what's easy. So usually I mean the opposite. So usually what I'm saying about is when you know you have that feeling in your gut that you need to do something, usually it's awkward or hard or tough and you don't want to do it. That's what I mean by leaning into it. I don't want you to go with your gut and be like, wow, it's going to make me really uncomfortable and push me out of my comfort zone to have this tough conversation with my boss. So I'm not going to do it and I'm just going to let things go the way they've been. No, that's the 100% opposite of what I'm talking about with going with your gut. I'm talking about what do you need to do to really help drive your career or your company or your project that might be tough. It might require a difficult conversation, but you know deep down that's what you need to do. You don't want to come back in 6 months and be like, man, I wish I just would have buckled up and had that tough conversation. The second thing that I do not mean when I talk about going with your gut is that you don't need to do your homework or your research and just go with what your first instinct is and run with it and you're going to be fine. That is 100% not what I mean either. I want you to do your research. I want you to make the best decision that you possibly can with information that's reasonable to get. I live in the real world. I know most of the time you cannot get perfect information, but you should get some information. Making a decision just blindly and saying I went with my gut without trying to do any research or asking anybody or benchmarking at all is not going to help you own your career. You may get lucky a time or two, but ultimately that is going to be a bad strategy for owning your career. So far I've only talked about what I don't mean. What I don't mean is taking the easy route because the one that really you're kind of should be doing makes you uncomfortable. And I don't mean just making the first impulse decision without doing your research. So what do I mean when I say go with your gut? I want you to think about certain things where you're like, man, this project is really not moving. It's a pain in my butt. We're not going anywhere. And when you come up with those tough situations, what does your gut really, really tell you that you need to do? And so this can come up when a project's not moving, when you have to make a big decision about maybe a supplier change or a software that you're going to use for the next several years. It might become on a decision on hiring or reorganizing or kind of changing up who's on your team. Tough discussions, things that when you really can't seem to find a way to work with somebody, those are the kind of the situations where I really do want you to step back for a minute and say, okay, what is my gut telling me? What do I really need to do here? Most likely it's something that's not fun and it's awkward and you might have to prepare to have a tough conversation, but a situation where you want to follow your gut is like, man, if I don't do this, I'm going to have this feeling again tomorrow and the next day and next week because the issue's not fixed and we're still kind of trudging along and we're not getting there. Or I don't go with my gut and we don't make a change on our team or with a hiring decision that I feel is right, and 6 months from now, I'm going to be just so upset with myself because I'm going to just kick the can down the road, and future Heather is going to have to deal with this big problem because I didn't go with my gut and have that tough conversation and deal with the issue right now. That's what I'm talking about. So I encourage you to look for these conversations and practice them. They're not fun. They're usually something that's really awkward, but going with your gut means you feel good about it at the end of the day. You have a compassionate, crucial conversation with somebody, and then you can move forward to get to the right result. And I want you to look for those and look, you don't need to have 10 a day, but just truly say, okay, when I am struggling, how do I do the adult thing and go with my gut and really figure out how to tackle this issue head on? I promise you're going to get results faster. You are going to feel much better. Most of the time after you get through the situation, the other person feels better as well. And it's really a great practice to show that you have some managerial courage, that you're really trying to do the right thing and not just the easy thing. And it helps develop you as a leader. So that's my challenge for you, is to really go with your gut. Evaluate your tough situations that seem to kind of be recurring challenges or big decisions. Use the information that's available and really figure out, down the road, 6 months or 12 months or 18 months from now, what am I going to want to have done right now to kind of move this project in the right direction for myself, for my department, for the company. I can't wait to hear how you have used the go with your gut method. What really tough things have you gotten yourself into that you've had to figure out how to do the right thing, make a tough call, have a tough conversation, and what have you done to help yourself navigate through those successfully? Leave me a comment below. Until next week, here's to owning your career journey.